Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty LA night now.
3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, sports fans. Another opening day here at Citizens Bank Park. I can't.
That was your announcer voice? That's all you had?
Do you know what I did last night?
Who do you think of when they do that intro? Like, who do you think of when baseball comes on? What's the voice? What's the announcer?
Like, you got too many things going through my head right now.
Okay, my bad.
First of all, back to me. Yesterday, I had a triple header, all right? And then I went out after it, okay? That's one. Wings lost again. Oh, well. Back at it on Saturday. Buster, myself, WWE night. Let's go. 1 p.m. Second of all, the Major League Baseball announcer, so like ESPN's in my head, right? Like that's immediately what I think of. So John Miller is the first guy.
John Miller was, yes. John Miller's
Miller,
one.
The best. I love John Miller. Love him. Carlos Beltran. You know, I grew up. I tell this story often. First of all, good afternoon, everybody. Sean Brace, John Jansen, Daily Ticket. Let's go. I grew up ages 3 to 8-ish, 8.5. I grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina in those years. And when I was in Wilmington, I was able to get UPN 9, the Mets, WGN with the Cubs, WPIX, the Yankees. Listen to this, I'm not BSing you either. The Atlanta Braves, the Phillies, who were on what was that channel? Oh man. Oh, that's terrible. Can't remember where the Phillies were on. Anyways. And like that's somebody asked me, I did an interview the other day. John Witherspoon hopped on his podcast and he was like, what'd you want to do when you were growing up? Tell me about your childhood. I wanted to be a play-by-play announcer because of all of those voices. Harry Carey, Harry Callis, Ralph Kiner, Chip Carey, Phil Rizzuto, I want to say for the Yankees. I want to say that's not mistaken. Sorry. You know, all of those great voices. That's
a lot of baseball guys.
All baseball guys.
All baseball. Okay. So you were all in on baseball.
I was a diehard baseball fan growing up. That's all. I was good at baseball. I played baseball. I thought I could have went and did some things in baseball. You couldn't strike me out. I was a great catcher when I was younger. I moved over to third base. Third base sucked.
Third base is terrible.
Third base was brutal.
I watched it, and I watched a kid break his nose and had to get taken off in an ambulance playing in the hot corner, so I never wanted to play there again.
Yeah, that sucked.
I loved playing third when I was a kid, but I saw that and never wanted to do it again. I was literally moved to third base after that happened. I was the one who replaced him. I was terrified.
Yeah, third base sucked. And then I went to center field, and I thought I played pretty well out in center field. I was able to track the ball. That was like the ball never bounced. I was able to find it.
I was a decent catcher, but I was lazy. I hate to say lazy too, but they took away, they have the pads for you. So the knee savers.
Okay.
My coach
didn't
like, yeah. My coach didn't like that. So he took away the knee savers. So my knees by the end of each season were shot every single time.
That's why I wanted to get out of catching. I caught like when I was in Little League all the way through teen league through 15. And that's when I transitioned over to third base. And I was like, nope, let me get out in the outfield.
Yeah, you don't realize how much you throw when you're a catcher too, because you're tossing the ball back, but you're throwing a lot. My elbow and my knees were absolutely shot by the end of every season.
It was good, man. Those are the fun days, fun times. And
were they?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I was.
As I mentioned, as like a teenager, that I'm having elbow and knee problems. Yeah, it was great. I had such a fun time.
I would love to be able to go back in time, or not go back in time. I would love to be able to play high school ball now, because back in my day,
no, I hated high school ball. That's when I fell out of love in playing baseball.
Yes,
I hated it.
See, back in my day, it wasn't about anything other than running around, chasing, having fun, all that. But now it's more strict. There's more of a reason. The coaches, I think if you get the right coach, it all comes down to that. My high school coach, I know everybody loves him, and people on Facebook watch this, so I feel terrible saying this. He sucked. He was terrible. He was a brutal head coach, and he didn't do anything for anybody.
I don't think my coach was a terrible dude. I just didn't like his coaching style. I did not.
Yeah, he didn't put I feel like now as a head coach, if you're a coach in high school, your number one job is to get these kids. First of all, make them a better human being. Obviously, that's one. Enjoy the game. That's two. But if they have the slightest,
see those first two things I didn't.
If they had the slightest bit of ability, I think your job is to try and get them to play the next level, whether it's college, JUCO, hell, try out, whatever it may be. And that did not exist in my day.
Yeah, I spent more time running poles. Do you know what poles are?
Yeah, from foul pole.
Yeah, foul pole. Yeah, I spent more time running poles than I did batting practice. So that didn't go well. It's hard to run to first base and have conditioning when you're not hitting the ball. So I had a problem with that.
Well, those were the days, fun times, and of course we're reminiscing.
I had more fun actually playing high school tennis than I did high school baseball.
Nice.
Loved playing high school tennis.
All right.
It was great.
Do you still play tennis?
I wish I did. I honestly, that's one sport I still wish I played more.
John
tennis.
Clark, you and Clark, you need to get out there and play.
I bet Clark has a mean serve. That's a tall dude. I'm sure he has the right angle to do it. That's all I had was a decent serve.
Yeah, he's a badass.
I served an ace against the number one of a high school.
How about that?
One time? Yeah, I cannot believe that happened. Everybody was shocked. Like, wait, what just happened? It's the only good thing I ever did on a tennis court. The only thing I've ever done.
All right.
Everything else sucked.
Can we talk about some sports now?
I mean, I want to, but you're the one who was reminiscing about your high school baseball days.
All right. Well, here's what we got.
Yeah, let's move on.
It's the Daily Ticket, opening day. Once again, give it to me. And Sweet 16 action. And as you can see, Brian Snitker is a you-know-what. I'm irked.
I wish you could say all the things you said before we started.
I'm irked. I hate people like this. I hate them. Hate them. Stand on your business. You want to drag our name through the mud on some dumb podcast or whatever you did in Atlanta, and you come to Philly and you get asked point blank about what took place in the playoffs between your family and the fans of Philadelphia, and you say, I'm not going to get in there because you're full of you-know-what, Snitker.
Snitker, nuts.
Yeah, I know. Snitker. It's just, it's embarrassing. Stand on your business. Run your yap. Back it up. That's it. I have no issue with you running your yap.
All of the Braves have done this about the Phillies. Because Spencer Strider has said something about Phillies fans. Brian Snitker has said something. I know last year when somebody said something in the locker room and it got out, and everyone's like, it shouldn't have gotten out. They're all losers. As much as I love how talented they are. I love the talent. And I think Ronald Acuna Jr. is one that I think gets a really bad rep when I think he's a great player, really good player for the game too. Fun, exciting, awesome player. But the rest of the Braves team is just full of giant whiners and losers. Yeah. And I can't believe that's the case for a team that has won over 100 games for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that.
It does make you step back a little bit and say, like, all right, what's
going on there?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they don't have the mentality to do it, but they do have.
And maybe not. Maybe that's why they get bounced in the NLDS for the past 2 years, because they're better. They are better than the Phillies. This coming into this year, and everybody's trying to predict. It's a lot of Phillies fans, but even World Series people are predicting for the Phillies. But everybody's trying to predict they win the NL East. I don't think they're even going to be close. I don't think the Phillies are close to the Braves. That's how good they are. But that doesn't mean the Phillies can't beat them in a postseason series, because maybe this is the problem. Maybe they are just not built for it. I don't know. But the whining is constant from them.
Buster Olney has the Phillies. He changed his AL pick. He had the Yankees and Phillies earlier.
Well,
I think when
Garrett Cole ends up, because I had the Yankees.
Right.
I had the Yankees too. I had the Yankees in the World Series, but Garrett Cole being out for a few months certainly changes that.
We'll allow it.
I think it's fair.
Yeah, it's
right?
fine.
Okay.
It's fine. All right, so it is opening day for the Phillies. We'll talk.
Now it's the Mariners for me, by the way.
Yeah. The Mariners in the AL?
Love the Mariners.
Nice. All right. Got Julio Rodriguez rolling. All right. So we will talk, of course, opening day coming up here in a little bit with the Braves and Phillies going off at 3:05 p.m. A little windy outside. Total coming in at 7. Wheeler and Strider on the mound.
Do you just mix Spencer Strider and Snitker?
Wheeler plus 105, Spencer Strider minus 125. Total coming in at 7. Again, though, I want to just caution everybody that I don't expect these pitchers to go deep. That's the issue here. Now, yesterday seemed like everybody won money in Major League Baseball, including myself. But man, I showed up late to the local establishment for the 2 late night tips after the Wings game. And three of my buddies were like, dude, look at this parlay I hit. Everybody cash, money line, strikeouts. It was just wild. I don't know. Did you hit your bets last night?
I did. I just go straight money lines. And for me, the props, I do want to get more into it this year. I want to kind of wait until we start to see some things come in and how players are performing in the first few weeks. But I did well. I did 2-1. I got my Pittsburgh Pirates underdog money line, which is good.
O'Neal.
And then I hit on, O'Neal Cruz.
MVP.
Jeez.
MVP.
That was actually a really fun game, Marlins and Pirates. It was bad baseball. It was great baseball. It was fun. I absolutely loved every second of it. And then I had Cincinnati. Cincinnati's legit.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's got a lineup there that's going to be very, very good.
What's their pitching staff like? That's
not bad. Frankie Montas did all right. It's Washington, and Washington's lineup isn't very good, but Frankie Montas is okay. Hunter Green can maybe take another step. They do have a few arms in that starting rotation. Nick Lodolo when he ends up coming back. So they do have a few arms in that starting rotation that I really like. But that's the question, though, is Hunter Green going to take the next stab? What Frankie Montas is going to show up? But I do like some of the things they did with their starting rotation.
Yeah. All right. So we got 10 games in Major League Baseball, 1 featuring the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll return to that in just a second. But of course, folks, come on, man. Sweet 16. The madness is here.
It got a little crazy yesterday.
Yes, it did.
Woo! It got crazy.
So where do we start? We'll go ahead and take
Clemson.
I don't even want to start there. I want to start with UNC and Alabama.
What a game.
Yeah. And UNC choking it up. I think now I watched the game with somewhat volume, couldn't really hear the announcers. I believe that Alabama essentially said, you know what? Let's guard the guys that can shoot, and the ones that aren't good shooters, let's leave them alone. And they can't help themselves. And UNC missed a ton of shots down the stretch in the second half. They did score. Well, the final score was 80 off the top of my head. I forget.
89-87.
There you go. 89-87. So they scored a bunch. It goes over by 2 points as far as the total is concerned. But man, I just was cracking up. Like, you got to hit those shots, especially when Bama is allowing you to do it. They outscored them in that second half. Again, halftime score, UNC was up by 8. The second half, Alabama outscores UNC by 10. And that was all she wrote in that second half. Alabama deserves all the credit in the world, but I think UNC really let that one slip.
Yeah, UNC, and I hate to say it because RJ Davis has been a great player for UNC. Oof. I think Ryan said last night, guard for North Carolina, said in the postgame press conference, he is one of the better Tar Heels of all time. He's one of the greatest to ever wear that uniform. And RJ Davis just did not play well. If he played an even semi-decent game, they win that one. You know, that's the difference for me there, is that North Carolina, even without their best scorer, he scored 16 points, 8 of 9 from the free throw line, but he was 4-20 from the field, 0 of 9 from 3.
Correct.
RJ Davis had a bad game. They were an RJ Davis game away from probably scoring close to 100 in this game and beating Alabama.
Shoot, 87 is pretty close to 100, but you're right. Point taken. RJ Davis was the difference in that one, and that's why UNC is going home. Credit to Nate Oates and Alabama rolling on.
Yeah.
Now, you got to ask yourself, what's next for Alabama here, right? You know, can they make a run at this? Can they get to a Final Four? Can they win it all? Is that team good enough with that offense and coming off of what they were able to show us last year? Not the same team, obviously, but there's steps to this. There's levels to this.
Yeah, well, the next
that confidence going.
The next level to that is Clemson's defense just good, or are they getting some really lucky shot variants here where these really good offense that they're going up against aren't doing anything? Because Clemson is holding these teams to very low percentages, and I don't get it. Baylor's a good shooting team, and still Clemson was able to hold them. Arizona's a really good offensive team. Arizona's a great offensive team, and Caleb Love is a really good offensive player. They held him to 72 points.
Yep.
So I would imagine Alabama would be able to score on Clemson. There's nothing in Clemson's defense and their KenPom rankings and things like that would say that they are a juggernaut and they could stop Alabama, but there's something that they're doing right. I don't know what it is, but something that they're doing right to where they can get Arizona, a great offense, to be held to 72 points and win that game. So I would say in the next round, yeah, I think Alabama, if they score 80, they beat Clemson. Can they score 80 against Clemson, though?
77-72 over to that game. Clemson did come out on top. Again, the only underdog in the second round to win and they continue
playing
to,
in the Sweet 16.
They're 7-point dogs last night. Money line, cash it. Stayed under the total of 152.5 there. Nice call by Joe Tanzi on that one. And you pointed out Caleb Love. Yeah, the lights went out for both of those guys out there in L.A., Caleb Love and R.J. Davis, 0 for 18 combined from downtown. That's not going to get the job done.
And so what is that? Is that Clemson's defense that is doing that? Or is that Alabama's defense that was doing that against R.J. Davis?
I think we need to give Clemson a hell of a lot more credit.
I feel like we do, absolutely.
Because of what they've done so far this season. Look at who they beat already. Now, they beat Alabama earlier this year. They beat Pitt, who was close to being
at times this year, and it was really earlier in the year. They have been
UAB.
a great team.
Yeah, UAB. Of course, they played in the ACC. They beat UNC. 80-76. This is a team that can go ahead and throw 90 up on you, as they did at the end of the season against Syracuse. Clemson is for real, and everybody missed it. Well, mostly everybody. I want to give some credit out there. I saw Mike Randall Rat. What the hell's his name?
Who?
Mike
Randall?
There you go.
Oh, yeah, Mike Randall. Okay, yeah.
He had Clemson.
He threw me off with what you said after you said Randall. But yeah, Mike
Beef had Clemson. Nice work by them. Other than that, no one else did. That's it. So here we are. I think they deserve a lot more credit than what they're getting.
And I wanted to, and I was a coward. I will fully admit, I was too much of a coward to take it.
But going up against Alabama, flip a coin. Absolutely flip a coin.
That's where I'm at. Again, I can't predict. I have no idea if Clemson's going to be able to continue this, because it's certainly give credit to Clemson. Give credit to the way they're playing. They're playing extremely well. We knew they've been a good team at times this season, and they're showing that at the right time in the tournament. That's great. Can they keep that up, though? Is their defense that good? Or is this just they're getting lucky at times? And guys like Caleb Love are 0 for 9 from 3. Are they going to be able to do that against Alabama? Is there a way they can do that against Alabama? Or are they at the mercy of Alabama just hitting shots or not hitting shots? Because it feels like it's kind of that way. They're just at the mercy of whatever this team does. And luckily for them, those teams haven't shot well. Can Alabama continue to shoot well? Or are they going to be like every other team that's faced Clemson? I would lean Alabama, but that's not – I don't love that at all, because I have no idea what the answer is there. Unless somebody can give me tangibly, oh, yeah, Clemson's defense is doing this now, and this is why they're guarding the perimeter really well. This is why three-point shots aren't going down for teams. Clemson deserves the credit for that. That's what they're doing well, and they can do it against Bama. I can be convinced. I just don't know if that's what's happening here. I'm not sure if that's the case. I just think teams are missing shots against them.
Yeah, look, it's a tough matchup. 3-point spread on DraftKings already, and Alabama's favored. No surprise there. Again, there's definitely nobody believing in Clemson, but they continue to win here. So we'll see. I just flip a coin. I'm very comfortable in saying that these games have been really tough to pick, and I'm not ready to just fire just because it's March Madness. I know, boo, whatever. But if it's a game I'm not feeling,
coward.
Oh well,
you coward, Sean Bryce.
Well, the thing is with Madness, I'm in a block pool, $100 a block. I got 3 blocks. All right.
Yeah, so I'm sure you have plenty of futures.
I'm invested there. I got 2 futures on UConn. I'm invested there.
Oh, you doubled down on UConn.
Oh, I'm ready to go. And I got an exacta.
How good do you feel about that?
Oh, we're going to get to that in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, because everybody's playing for second place.
And that's what it feels like, right?
Everybody's playing for second place. But, in my one exact that I do have is alive, and it's a matchup that features a team tonight. We'll talk about that a little bit coming up here in just a second. But again, last night, the madness, I think, for a lot of people delivered with all the upsets. And one that was not an upset was UConn and then San Diego State. And they're out for blood. They're out for blood. And Danny Hurley is the one that's really leading the charge and opened my eyes in the postgame after who'd they beat? Oh, Northwestern. And he goes, that's how you blow a team out. We're going to blow everybody out in the tournament. Word for word, he said that, bar for bar. And that's what they're doing.
Great reference to one of my favorite memes.
That's what they're doing. They're out for blood. They're going to blow you out. Now, that is 9 straight wins in the NCAA tournament for the last 9 games by UConn, and they've covered every one of them, of course, straight up ATS, and they've won every one of those games by more than 13 points. Think about that. This team is absolutely a juggernaut, and very well should cut down the nets. Now, cut down the nuts? Good grief. Now, what I will tell you is this.
That's one of the greatest slips you've ever had.
Now, I will tell you this.
Oh, no, you can't brush past that. That is phenomenal. That is so good. That's exactly what Danny Hurley's doing. It's exactly what Danny Hurley wants to do.
He's cutting your nuts off. I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot.
That's such a great slip.
Good grief already.
You were about to blow past
In
that.
your
No way.
face. In your face.
No way you were going to blow past
No.
that.
So Danny Hurley's out for blood,
Oh.
and it's no surprise that they absolutely smashed San Diego State. I thought that, the number was going to be somewhat in play, but there was no way I was taking San Diego State. I just could not do it. I believe UConn is going to win it all, and I'm not going to bet against them. And that's what I would tell people going off of what I learned last year. And I did wager on UConn all the way throughout that tournament because I thought they were going to win it, and I was invested. So don't bet against this team if you got them cutting down the nuts or nets, one or the other. It doesn't matter. But man, just an absolute blowout, and not much to add on that other than this team is electric. Your thoughts?
Yeah, really not much to add on that at all. It's new guys. It's guys that have been there. It's Cam Spencer. It's Tristan Newton. It's Klingon. Whoever, whatever situation arises, somebody is going to step up. If it's Caravan, whoever it is, one of these guys is going to step up, and one of them is going to take over a game. It's too much to handle. I don't know how you stop that. The offense moves the ball extremely well. They can also play great defensively. Even if they go up against like Illinois, everybody's saying, well, at least you could put up points in them. And I think one of the biggest playbooks that we've seen that works against UConn, or at least has worked so far, was St. John's in the Big East tournament, put up 90-something points. It's basically just run the floor, don't care about guarding, just see if UConn can hit their shots and try and beat them in a 90-something to 90-something ball game. Illinois can do that. The problem is, though, can Illinois' offense do that against UConn? That's the problem I'm having right now, is that their defense has just stepped up to another level. Now they've played San Diego State, they've played Northwestern, and then a 16 seed. Not any good offenses, but still not one team through 3 games so far in the tournament have scored more than 60 points. I'm sure Illinois is going to do that, but can they score the playbook, what Rick Pitino did? Let's just put up as many points as we can and see if UConn can keep up. Illinois wants to do that, but can they put up 90 against UConn's defense? Is UConn's defense going to allow that? I just find their defense to be the equalizer in every single game. And then offensively, they're just this machine that at any point, it's going to be any of these guys at any game, whether it's Klingon again inside, Newton, Spencer, whoever it is, one of these guys are going to step up, and they did that last night.
Badass team, man. Badass team, badass coach, and
even though he said something about his wife washing underwear last night, what was that?
That was a little weird. He's wearing the same pair of underwear. That's what he said. He said that a while.
A lot of underwear talk in the timeline lately.
Yeah,
I've been seeing
Emerson from DraftKings.
Yeah, what on earth?
Speaking of bar for bar, he stole my damn flow.
I know, he stole your entire bit.
Stole my flow.
But you didn't have any pairs. He had 2. Did you have any? How many did you have?
0.
You had none. Okay, you had none. He had 2.
Remember
but you had 0.
My wife bought me Tommy Johns for Christmas. It's the first time I had underwear in the last 30 years. No.
Do you know where that pair is now?
The Tommy Johns?
Yeah.
Oh, I got 3 in the top drawer.
Okay.
When's
the last time they've been out of the top drawer?
I will wear them for summertime when I'm wearing the mesh shorts.
Okay.
I will.
God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Things are getting, I'm getting older, man. I'm like, just things, gravity's coming. Gravity's a real thing.
Please stop. Please stop. Please stop.
Like, wow,
please stop.
Dude, really?
I can't.
I think I stepped on it one time.
I regret bringing this up.
It's just old. I'm an old man.
Oh, God.
Old balls brace.
Get Danny Hurley. Cut the nuts off.
Anyways, yes, UConn is going to win this national championship. Let's talk about everything else for second place.
Mrs. Hurley's going to have to keep cleaning that underwear.
That's it. So they got Illinois coming up. Nobody's worried about that.
I just said that.
Do you know what the number is in that one?
It is 8.5.
8.5, 155.5. Yeah,
that's a good Illinois team too.
Really good Illinois team. Over Iowa State. I had Iowa State last night in the bracket. Of course, I thought that they were going to win that game, even when they were down at half. And Illinois is just a damn good ball club. Now, the thing about Illinois that, of course, opened my eyes is that's a conference tournament winner. And most of the time I try to avoid those conference tournament winners because, you're going on such a streak here. Illinois is the real damn deal. And defense be damned, because they played pretty good defense yesterday, and they went up against a really good defense in Iowa State, and they were able to do what they needed to do to advance. I don't think they have a chance in hell of winning this game against UConn. However, 8.5, the almighty point spread, is the equalizer there on DraftKings. 155.5 is your total. Again, tomorrow, that's at 6:09 p.m., our first matchup in the Elite Eight, followed by Clemson and Bama. 3-point spread, 164.5. That's at 8:49 p.m. All right, now let's go ahead and get to tonight's games. Let's do it. NC State and Marquette, first game up, 7:09 p.m. 151 is our total in that one. I think that's a little high number, but I will tell you this much. I'm really comfortable taking Marquette here. Tyler Kolek could very well be the best player in the tournament.
Oh,
could very well be.
He's one of the better players.
All right, well, who's the best player in the tournament right now? It's
Terrence Shannon looked pretty good.
It's hard to argue. He's damn good. Of course, you could take any one of those great players from UConn, either one. Bottom line is,
I don't know. There were a few really good players that were just taken out. So you might be right.
Well,
remaining in the tournament.
I would tell you this much.
Zach Edey, obviously.
Yeah, that's hard to argue. And especially when I was going to have the little defined breakdown on this. For me, Kolek, the biggest thing for me is he's the guy, A, the floor general, but B, even if they go on a little bit of a drought and say NC State's able to get hot and they go up by 6 or 7, like Tyler Kolek's the guy to calm everything down. Just lead by example, run the offense. Marquette's going to be fine. And when he wasn't in the offense and he wasn't playing, Marquette looked okay too as well. Tough game against UConn to close up shop there in the Big East Championship game. But ultimately, that is a team that can hang with UConn, and I think that tells you all you need to know. I hopefully that's honestly, if we get a Big East Championship game between those two teams,
I wouldn't mind it.
I think the ratings might be some of the best national championship ratings we've ever seen.
That'd be such a fun match
in the last 25 years, easily.
You think so? It could be.
I'd put it up there.
Be a heck of a matchup.
Yeah, because just how good these two teams played last year. You can bring that to this year, of course, with the Kolek injury, a different story. But Marquette's the real deal, and they're going up against NC State.
Can you imagine
tonight.
if we get Marquette and Creighton in the Final Four, and then one of those two teams to take on UConn?
We'll get to Creighton in a second. I was even skipping over them by accident.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant Creighton. No, I was thinking more. When you said Big East, I was thinking more Final Four.
No.
You get Creighton and Marquette.
Marquette would get better numbers
UConn.
than UConn and Creighton. Ratings wise.
Oh, Marquette would. Marquette. Oh God.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, they would. Okay, they would. Because Dwayne Wade will help out with that.
Nice. So tonight, I like Marquette. I'm willing to give the 7 points. 151 is your total on DraftKings. Your thoughts?
For Marquette. So Tyler Kolek is great, and the offense looked really good. And I've kind of doubted how they would look in the first two games, and I have been pleasantly surprised. I want to give NC State a chance. This is another one where I'm looking at it the same way with Clemson, that there probably isn't a right way to look at Clemson and go, well, Clemson's definitely going to beat Arizona. The way it played out is the way it would happen, is you get a player like Caleb Love who can't hit a shot to save their lives, and you're just banking on, and in Marquette's case, either Kolek going cold, Cam Jones going cold, one of those guys to not play well, and NC State would have this chance. I just don't see it with NC State. They've had some pretty good guard play. DJ Horn has actually been really good in the tournament. He's one of the better players. He might be playing just as well as DJ Burns. So I think Horn has been an excellent player. O'Connell has at times. I just think with Marquette, they do have a better, because even Iguodala, we're kind of leaving out a little bit. He's been a really good forward for them, can rebound the ball well. I think he'll do good against Burns. So Iguodala is, I think, a good equalizer there to take on Burns. And then Kolek and Jones really on the perimeter. They just make the offense move. I think this might be a little bit too much offense for NC State to keep up with. All
right. Yeah, that's where I'm at. And that one, next game up for us on DraftKings Sportsbook for tonight's Sweet 16 matchup, Gonzaga and Purdue. That's at 7:39 p.m. Purdue 5-point favorites, 154.5 is our total in this one. I'm not willing to bet Gonzaga here. I think they're better than San Diego State. I think defensively they're going to be able to hang with Purdue. But when it comes down to, if Purdue, for me, if Purdue's guards are able to hit their shots, of course with Edey down low,
They have been.
yeah, I cannot not back Purdue here. I'm going to take Purdue -5.
I want to take Gonzaga, and I think Mark Few's the better coach here, and I think they will come up with a great game plan, and that game plan will probably keep them in this game for a time. But I talked about this last week on Sports Here, There, and Everywhere with Dick Girardi, and he mentioned, the team that takes on Purdue, whatever opponent, just has to be able to survive the avalanche when the points start going, because at some point it's going to happen where Purdue does hit the perimeter shots. Zach Edey is playing well. All of that comes together and they go on these big runs. How does the team respond? And that happened in the last game with Purdue. Utah State just couldn't respond to it. Once the avalanche happened, Utah State just basically shut down and they had no chance to beat Gonzaga in that game. Will Gonzaga, or Utah State had no chance of beating Purdue in that game. Will Gonzaga be able to withstand that? They take this big run that Purdue has, and will they figure out an adjustment, a way to stop it and stay in the game? I think so. I am not willing to bet on it. I actually have loved Gonzaga all the way coming up into this day, all the way coming up into this moment. And then I get to this point and I just think Purdue might actually just be really good. And we might be overlooking Purdue just because of past mishaps in previous tournaments. This feels a little bit different. This feels like a Purdue team that actually is that good. And they will be not only a tough out in this game, but I can't wait to see whoever wins in the Creighton-Tennessee game. That's going to be a great game, and I don't think it's a shoo-in for Creighton or Tennessee to beat Purdue. I think Purdue right now, I love the way they've looked, and I think this is one of those. I would take the Bulldogs if I was going to lean away. I would take the Bulldogs, but this could be territory where we're looking at maybe a 15 to 20 point loss from Gonzaga because Purdue's just that good right now.
Yeah, it's a tough game, but I'm willing to back Purdue here, especially at a low number of 5. That's a couple free throws. You're in it. Again, like, I don't want to just completely poo-poo Gonzaga because I was definitely feeling like Gonzaga was getting underappreciated, and all they did was go on the road and beat Kentucky. And then you started catching some people paying a little bit more attention, but they didn't have like that big name player, A. B, they ended up losing to St. Mary's, and a lot that left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. Now they got them, I want to say, at home, and then they lost in the conference championship game. But Gonzaga never really got everybody's attention. Purdue, we know it. The pressure is on them.
From day one.
I think they advance. I think they advance here tonight. So I'm willing to take both of those favorites in the first 2 early games. Now to the nightcaps. Duke and Houston, I'm going with the dog here. Give me Duke. And the reason why is, for me, Houston, I know defensively, they're really good. And they got some great players. I get it. But, man, I'll tell you, Duke just looks like they hit a different gear right now. Offensively, moving the ball, playing great basketball. What they did last Sunday against JMU was ridiculous. It really was. And even in the game before that, what would they play in the first round, the open round matchup?
They played Vermont.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Vermont was actually a decent team, had some good size out there, had a good scheme. Duke handled them. I get Houston. I know that they're a really good defensive team, and they've been awesome all season long, but I just think Duke matches up with them really well, and that's what it comes down to. This is a time of year where it's about matchups. You can't look me in the eye and tell me Duke does not match up well with Houston. I'll take the 4 points. I'm going to ride with the dog on that one. I also like the over in this one, 134.5. I think Duke scores 70+ tonight. Give me Duke tonight.
So,
Duke.
I think Duke will be able to handle some of the pressure that Houston gives. I mean, Kelvin Sampson's teams are physical. They play great defense. They can cause a lot of chaos. And I think a guy like Filipowski helps out. And there are a few other players for Duke that do seem poised in chaotic moments like that against chaotic defenses. But Houston just dials it up so much. I just don't know if they're going to be able to maintain that through 2 halves. I think this Houston team's going to suffocate them. They're good offensively. I mean, heck, they put up 100 points and it was in overtime. But even then, they went to overtime with 86 points. And they scored 86 points against Longwood as well. 16 seed, I get it. But this team has been scoring pretty well. This Duke team is overlooked. And I think you're right to at least give some love to Duke. They do deserve it. That team has been overlooked all season. I am one that has overlooked them almost all season. And so they have proven me wrong. Vermont, they look great. JMU looked even better. I had a bet on JMU, and man, they smashed James Madison. I just don't know if that's going to be the case here. I do. Man, it's been all the dogs, and I'm looking at a couple favorites, but I do like Houston today.
I like
like them at 4.5.
I like a crooked number for Duke today, and that doesn't happen often against Houston, so watch out for that. Of course, McCain's hitting his shots. I'm not expecting him to go 9 3-pointers like he did last game, but I think, man, they're playing some smooth basketball. Filipowski is just a beast. And I get it. There's some great players on that floor, but like what Filipowski does, and even if he doesn't have to score the ball, like he's always involved, just a beast down low, pulling down boards, doing the gritty work. Like that kid a lot, actually. So give me Duke tonight. That's my dog there. Fourth and final game. Once again, DraftKings Sportsbook getting all the numbers from possibly the best game this evening. Creighton and Tennessee, 3.5 for Rocky Top, 145.5. Going into the tournament, I thought the world of Dalton Connect and Tennessee. I still do, but I'm not picking against Creighton. Creighton, I made the case yesterday that Creighton, if they're hitting their shots, can win it all. That's the only way you're beating UConn is if you just go unconscious and you're hitting every shot like they did against Oregon. It was absurd. They didn't miss in that second overtime period in the regulation.
And it can happen at any point.
Yeah, Creighton's the real deal. So give me the 3.5. Dogs are barking in the evening hours for me. 145.5 is your total in that one. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Tennessee coming into the tournament. I gave a lot of love to Rick Barnes' squad as the tournament was starting. Didn't love what I saw against Texas, but it's not what Tennessee has done. I think Tennessee is going to play somewhat well in this game. I love Creighton's team. Their starting five is by far one of the best. It's up there. I even think with UConn has a lot more depth, and I think UConn does other things that are very good. But a Creighton starting five can match up with anyone in college basketball, and they might be one of the best along with UConn. It's just their depth is a problem, and I don't know when that depth, if it ever does rear its ugly head, if it's going to be this game or when you have the one day off and then you play again on Sunday, if that's going to be their downfall and having to play a couple of games in 2 days. So that maybe could be the spot, but the rested, they have one of the best starting fives with Shireman, Alexander, Kalkbrenner, who is great inside. He's the one that if they do go up against any size, Kalkbrenner is one of the best bigs in college basketball. And I think would be actually a really good matchup against Zach Edey. I love Creighton. I think this Creighton team is very good. I think they beat Tennessee. I think they move on. And I think they do have a very, very good chance of beating either Gonzaga or Purdue. I think it's going to be Purdue, but they have a good chance of knocking off Purdue. I love this Creighton starting lineup. It's just that good.
All right, Creighton, Tennessee, we're in agreement there. Duke and Houston, we're in agreement there. Purdue, we in agreement there? Where are you going on that one?
I'm leaning Gonzaga. I don't love it, though.
Okay, and then NC State Marquette, we're in agreement there.
We're in agreement there. I'm going Marquette.
Right, that's the madness. Let's go, baby. Let's get after it. Coming up pretty soon here. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's talk some Major League Baseball. Of course, the Phillies are opening their season up at home after yesterday. Hey, it's a good thing they canceled the game yesterday. Nice job avoiding that storm.
Don't be the sports radio host against weather people person.
I'm not.
Okay.
It was ridiculous, dude.
I think it was fine.
It didn't rain.
Yesterday was not great.
But it didn't rain.
Today's
not
nice.
Right.
Today's nice and sunny.
Dude, people set up.
I don't know.
No way.
I don't know. Today's nice and sunny. Everybody still is there.
Wait,
it looks like a great atmosphere.
Here's the question.
It looks fine. I don't know. It's good.
Did they get it wrong by canceling the game?
No.
Oh, I think they did.
No, I don't think they did.
It didn't rain.
But there was a good chance it was going to. They got lucky that it didn't rain, or it was lucky we didn't get a bunch of rain.
You know who didn't? You know who's not lucky? The people that had yesterday off that can't go today. That's unlucky.
They'll be fine.
Opening day? Yeah, it happens all the time, right?
I'm sorry. It's planet Earth. It's the Earth's atmosphere. It's hard to predict. Hard to know what's going to happen.
It's the wussification of sports.
It's not the wussification
That's
of
what
sports.
It is.
It's predicting the Earth's atmosphere. Like, when did this get easy? When was this easy
have
for anyone to do?
A nation of wussies.
Okay. All right.
I think Ed Rendell said that on our airwaves.
Yeah, he did. He said it when there was snow and they moved the game. I think
it was the Minnesota game. Yeah. No, but he said it on the Fanatic when I was there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I believe he said that on our
Was that the one that got viral or the one that was playing everywhere? He said it on your.
That was it, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Look at you. Getting the audio gold from
Now,
Rendell.
hang on, because I don't want to be that guy and get.
I think you are. I think you're taking credit for this.
No, he wrote a book. That's right. He turned it into a book.
Did he really? Great.
I want to know where he said that.
This isn't that case though. There was going to be rain. Something happened yesterday to where it didn't rain. It was pushed a little bit more towards Jersey, so we didn't get rain, and everything was fine. But we didn't know it was going to be fine. Again, it's hard to predict the Earth's atmosphere. That's what we're doing right now. That's what people complain about.
Predicted.
Why can't meteorologists get it right? I don't know. Can you at least call a basketball game right? Can you predict a Phillies win every game? Or can you predict a baseball game? No, those are hard to predict. You know what's also hard to predict? The Earth's atmosphere.
You said that already.
It's hard.
I got a Doppler. I'm pretty good.
Oh, okay. Do you know why you are seeing the Doppler the way it is? Do you know why a rain system moves the way it does?
Wind.
Okay, that's it. It's just wind. Wind is what does everything.
I'm telling you. Like I worked on a golf course. I know how to read a Doppler. Working the game of golf, and you'll know weather better than anybody. I can be a weatherman right now. Actually, I can't.
No way.
Let me tell you straight up.
No way.
Little inside information here. I just want to put this.
You could not be Cecily Tynan can do our job better than we could do hers. Like we could not. I could not. I would walk in there and not know what I'm doing. She could pick a basketball game.
Here's what I would tell you.
She could figure it out.
The thing is, weather people, everybody in news works off a teleprompter except the weather people. Weather people are incredible. When they go off the cuff and they're spitting on camera.
There's nothing like, have you ever seen
the radar and clicking?
Like a hurricane coverage is some of the best television I've ever seen. They're so good at it.
Yeah, I saw people ripping on weather people yesterday. That's fine, but nobody could do their job. It's extremely difficult.
No, it's my favorite that sports radio hosts who have for sure predicted every game right that they've ever talked about, and every single take that they had has been correct 100% throughout their careers, saying, "Oh, weather people don't get it right. They should be fired." Oh, really?
Yeah.
Person that has said everything 100% correct on their sports radio show.
We shouldn't pay attention to him. Anyways,
come on.
Braves and Phillies coming up at 3:05 here.
You know what, Sean? I get everything right. All of my bets that I place are 100% correct all the time.
We do have money coming in on the Braves. It's now up to -130 for Spencer Strider and the Braves. I don't know. I look at this game and nothing really moves me to wager on it. Game one. I'm not really vibing with the whole Schwarber going yard. I could get behind like a Trey Turner total bases. I can get behind a JT, I think, total bases. Maybe Castellanos. I don't know. Are we going to fire on Harper here? They're going up against the best pitcher in baseball. He just is. He's the best pitcher in baseball. Garrett Cole is hurt.
And I don't want to take everything that's happened in the postseason and just imagine.
Preseason.
Okay, well, what? Wait,
in
what's
the preseason?
No, postseason. What the Phillies have done against him in the postseason,
Gotcha.
and just say, "Oh, that applies here in the regular season." I don't know if it does. Spencer Strider could come out here and absolutely dominate them, and it wouldn't surprise me at all because Spencer Strider is one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. I think he's going to win the Cy Young this year. I think it's going to be him, and I'm predicting Noel as well in the conversation. But to me, if you were to ask me who's going to win the NL Cy Young, I think it's going to be Spencer Strider. This guy is incredible. There's a difference of postseason and regular season baseball. I know the atmosphere is going to be great there. I know that these guys are going to be juiced up, and they've done pretty well in home openers lately, if I'm not mistaken. I just don't want to take any chances with Spencer Strider on them. I just don't think it's worth it.
All right. As far as today's games, we got 10 in Major League Baseball. We do have one live action right now between the Mets and the Brewers. Anything for you right now on today's card as far as MLB or the Phillies and Braves here?
Yeah, nothing was really speaking to me. The only one that I could look at, the Yankees did get a 5-4 win yesterday, which is actually kind of surprising. Nestor Cortez gave up a few early runs, but I think that's more Framber Valdez just hasn't been good lately.
No, he has not.
I like Christian Javier getting -125. Rodon's coming back from injury, and he didn't play all that much last year. I don't know how he's going to be out of the gate for the Yankees, so I do like Houston to have a bounce back win at -125. George Kirby only getting -140 against the Red Sox. That's fine because I don't like Nick Pivetta. I think Nick Pivetta last year finally just started to regress, and I don't think he's going to be really that good this year. So I do like George Kirby a bit at -140 because I think the Mariners are that much better than the Red Sox. And other than that, maybe a dog play on San Francisco +125. Musgrove didn't look that hot in his first start. It was against the Dodgers, so it's the Dodgers. I don't know how much you want to take there. And maybe as well, Savall's on the mound for Tampa Bay against Toronto. Chris Bassett's underlying numbers have just been awful for the past couple of seasons, but still ends up pitching kind of well. So I don't know what to make of that. I'm not the biggest Chris Bassett fan. If you want to say Tampa Bay gets the win here and bounces back against Toronto after kind of getting clubbed a little bit yesterday, I'd be fine with that. Only thing that scares me off, though, is that Blue Jays lineup is terrifying at times. So I would not want to go on that. So the only really one I like, Christian Javier, -125, and getting George Kirby and the Seattle Mariners at -140.
All right. That'll do it. Quick little hit here today on the Daily Ticket. We will be back on Monday.
Still plenty of great programming today, though.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we're locked and loaded. We'll be back on Monday, though, just to let you know, WrestleMania week gets going for us on Monday. We are turning this bad boy into The Wrestler. We won't be known as The Gambler from Monday to next Monday, the following Monday, excuse me. And we will be known as Fox Sports Radio, The Wrestler. We are going to be talking all things wrestling throughout the course of the week. We got great podcasts lined up, live shows. We're going to be broadcasting live from the Convention Center on Friday, following Pat McAfee's show. It's just insane what we got cooking next week, including possibly Joel Embiid returning Tuesday night. And we are going to have our Slam Dunks and Body Slams watch party, the ultimate watch party going on.
I cannot wait for that
night.
Because maybe we see somebody come back that night.
That's what I just said.
Okay, maybe. Okay,
I was paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't think you were.
I'm stuck on this. Have you seen this Nets Daily Twitter account?
No.
This guy is like, he was in school in the 60s. Like, he's going over all this. This is a Nets Daily. Like, you assume a Twitter account is run by like a 25-year-old. This guy is an elder age, and he is telling some phenomenal stories. So check out Nets Daily on Twitter.
It's about great. What? What's he telling stories about?
About he was marching in like the civil rights movements and stuff like that. Like the 60s. He's telling stuff in the 60s. He said one of the biggest events he saw was the I think the JFK assassination, because they were talking about what's the biggest event outside of 9/11 that you've seen. And yeah, he said something like that. And everyone went, excuse me? Wait, how old are you exactly? And so now he's telling all these great stories of back in the old times. It's interesting. It's fascinating to see that.
I'm glad you ended the show on that. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
I just halted the show. I know. I thought it was fascinating. I thought it was really interesting.
That's John Jansen, JJansen34 on socials. The line change coming up at 5 o'clock. Coming up at 4 o'clock following us, you're going to hear Tansy, Beef, and Mark Henry Jr. talking all things Sweet 16. We will be running that back a little bit later as well. Tomorrow, live from Park Sportsbook Casino at 9 to 11. Dick Girardi, Mike Kern, John Jansen, Kyle /Nunamaker. 11 o'clock, Mark Henry Jr. Let's go. We're tapped. We're ready to go. Elite 8 action over the weekend. Sweet 16 tonight. Phils are back in our lives. And WrestleMania all next week right here on The Gambler. Everybody enjoy your Friday. Good luck on all your plays. Make sure you use Brace as the promo code on DraftKings Sportsbook, and go Phils.